Have you ever stood in front of a mirror and felt like something wasn't quite right? Like the person staring back at you knew things you'd rather forget? Well, let me tell you about the reflection room. They found it in an abandoned mansion's basement, a chamber where every wall was covered in ancient mirrors. At first, it seemed like any other room full of dusty antiques, but when Dr. Sarah Chen and her research team stepped inside, they realized these weren't ordinary mirrors at all. It started subtly. Sarah saw herself crying at her father's funeral, a memory she'd buried deep inside. Another researcher, Mike, watched himself stealing from his grandmother's purse when he was 12. The mirrors didn't just show their reflections, they were projecting their darkest memories, their deepest shames. But that was just the beginning. As hours passed, the reflections began to change. They started showing things that had never happened. Sarah watched her reflection scream at her daughter, something she'd only imagined doing during her worst moments. Mike's reflection showed him walking out on his family, a fear he'd never voiced. Then came the moment that changed everything. Tom, their youngest team member, approached a particularly ornate mirror in the corner. His reflection smiled, not the nervous smile Tom wore, but something sinister, knowing. And then in a blink, Tom was gone. But his reflection? It stayed behind, appearing in every mirror, watching, grinning. The team panicked, searching for answers until they found it. An ancient inscription carved into the base of the largest mirror. Only through sacrifice can the truth be buried again. One must remain for others to leave. Simple words that carried a horrifying weight. But here's the real terror. As they looked at each other, no one could be certain anymore. Who was still themselves? Whose reflection had already taken their place? In the reflection room, every face became a question, every memory a potential lie. They say the mansion still stands, and somewhere in its depths the reflection room waits. And if you listen carefully at night, you might hear the whispers of those trapped behind the glass. Their reflections walking free in our world, wearing their faces like masks. Just remember, the next time you catch your reflection doing something strange, even for a split second, ask yourself, is that really you looking back?